Oh my God, it was like a
big sigh of relief.
Yes, 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 yes.
The news we had all been hoping for. 2 young children back with their families after they're believed to have been in the woods for 2.5 days.
Command from Team 1, we have both kids. We're heading out of the woods.
It's a miracle, Christmas miracle, and it's a blessing.
Now we're hearing from neighbors, family, and the first responders who helped give one family the best early Christmas present anyone could have asked for. First Coast News at 11 starts right now.
Oh, what a day it has been. And tonight, look at this precious photo from Jacksonville Fire Rescue showing Braxton and Bria Williams in an ambulance. This is just moments after they were rescued today. You know, for more than 48 hours, the children were lost, many fearing the worst. This picture, it's worth more than 1,000 words, representing the hopes and the prayers of a city and the dedication of its first responders. Good evening and thank you for being with us tonight. I'm Heather Crawford.
And I'm Anthony Austin. It has been a day filled with good news. 2 young children safe and sound tonight, reunited with their parents. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says as of right now, no indication of foul play. The kind of story we wish we could tell more often.
And thanks to the first responders who found them, you see them in this picture right here. They say it truly was a team effort, no one person willing to take credit for themselves. Our On Your Side team has been spread out all across the area covering this story, speaking directly with the family who tonight is just so relieved knowing that the young children are safe.
Our Camrell Eppinger is live in the White House neighborhood where the family lives. And Cam, we're hearing from the older brother of the 2 children that were found tonight.
Anthony, we spoke with Deshaun Davis. He's 18 years old and he's the oldest sibling among his brothers and sisters. He says, make no mistake about it, the last few days have been difficult, a big challenge, but he's now relieved that his younger brother and sister are coming home. The last 72 hours have been rough for Deshaun Davis and his family.
It's something like very traumatizing. I have been sad for these 2 days.
The thought of not seeing his brother Braxton and sister Bria again after they went missing on Sunday has taken an emotional toll.
This is something that's going to scar me. It's going to scar me. It's not like going to disappear. It's not going to ever go away.
After the 2 were found safe and sound in a wooded area not far from their West Side home, Davis and his family are now relieved. Their nightmare is over.
When they said my brothers and sisters were found, I had nothing else to be but happy, and I'm very glad that I can say this.
He's not only happy but thankful for the overwhelming response and outpouring of support from the community.
Thank you for all the families who helped and prayed and came out here and searched with us, because that is very something to be grateful about.
A big sigh of relief for everyone involved. Now, we also spoke with the siblings' dad earlier this evening, and he tells us that as far as the children's condition, they are safe and sound at the hospital, and he also tells us that they're going to be spending the night at the hospital and they're expected to come back home tomorrow. For now, reporting from the West Side, Camrell Eppinger, First Coast News, On Your Side.
Thank you, Cam. Well, today is a day I definitely will never forget. I was out there at the scene when I saw that group of police officers running down the street, and then that group of first responders who brought the children to safety. Such a happy ending, the ending that we were all hoping and praying for. And tonight, our crime expert, Mark Bachman, and I walked back to the wooded area where the children were found. Okay, so Mark, we know that the sheriff says the children were found inside of an old dilapidated pump house behind this brush, and this is a pretty dense area.
It's very dense. I just walked this line down here. There's no cutway or path or anything. I mean, it's really tough to walk through here. It's almost virtually impossible. Obviously they're smaller in stature. Maybe they meandered around and got back in there. That pump house, it's a good distance back in here.
And I spoke this evening with a family who lives in Paradise Village right next to those woods where the children were found. And so the fact that these 2 children missing since Sunday morning, found right here just, a little ways away from your home, what's your reaction?
Oh my God, I don't know. I was just so thrilled that they found them and that everybody's prayers were answered. I couldn't believe they were close to this property at all. I really couldn't believe it.
Phyllis Quinn says she had searched her shed and property looking for Bria and Braxton when she found out they were missing, but found no sign of them. Her grandson knows these woods well.
When I was little, I used to play in all the woods around here. It's thick woods. It's hard to move around. There's a lot of vines and sticker bushes. It's just not an easy place to move around.
It's an area that is pitch dark at night.
I just can't imagine what they did for 3 days in the dark. You know, when it got nighttime, how they must have felt. I would have been petrified myself. Thank God.
And those two children, Anthony, they're fighters, they're survivors. The fact that they stuck together and they survived, truly a miracle.
No doubt about that.
You know, any child's disappearance can put a parent on edge.
But it gets more complicated when one of those children has special needs, the little boy on the autism spectrum. Robert Bradfield is on your side tonight. And Robert, the good news once again, those kids are okay.
They are, and they were taken to UF Health earlier this afternoon to be looked over by a doctor. And as we've reported, Braxton, the 6-year-old boy, is on the autism spectrum. And earlier tonight, I did speak with someone who teaches law enforcement officers on how to interact with people who are on the spectrum, including children, and in situations like this. Well, he is providing some perspective here for us tonight on how Braxton and his sister likely survived in the woods. This picture, tweeted by the Jacksonville Fire and Rescue Department, shows the moments after Braxton and Bria Williams were rescued. A true miracle described by many, including Myron Pincombe.
We're really glad to see how it ended.
He's the CEO of the International Board of Credentialing and Continuing Education Standards, a company that trains and certifies law enforcement officers and first responders on how to interact with people on the autism spectrum. Pincombe says he trains officers to have cue cards in the event someone is nonverbal.
All the officers that we train carry those with them in their car, or if not on their person, but they're able to pull those cue cards out and establish communication, at least at a very low level.
Family tells us Braxton is on the spectrum, but is able to communicate with others. Pincombe says autism is a sensory disorder, and Braxton may have had a heightened sense of focus, which may be the reason the siblings were found together.
So for a typical person, this would be a very dramatic experience, let alone if you had these sensory disorders. So, you know, whether it's touch, sound, sight, smell, all those things would have been going on with this little boy while he's in the woods for these number of hours.
And we cannot show you that picture enough. I did speak with the children's father earlier tonight, and he tells me he is going to be staying with them at the hospital. He says he is just simply overwhelmed by what happened today. Live at UF Health, Robert Bradfield, First Coast News, on your side.
I think we're all overwhelmed and grateful, and a huge shout out to all of those searchers and first responders who tirelessly searched and found the children. And for a full wrap up of today's events, just head to our website, firstcoastnews.com. We have been on your side every step of the way.
Found safe and alive, thanks to the first responders, search crews, and volunteers. First Coast News, on your side.